Peace, family. It's your girl Sony. So when I saw the dead baby bird outside my door last year, was it last year or this year? So much has happened. I don't know. I gotta ask my cousin because I called my cousin. I called the witch. She didn't pick up. Then I called my cousin, and we spoke, and she told me some things to do to cleanse, and I'm still oblivious to a lot of different things. But I had this dream about my ancestors in 2 nights in the same night. Once I'm in Africa and we in a village and we chilling and we working and doing things. In the next dream, I'm on a reservation dressed as an indigenous person with my family and we're working and doing things. A couple of hours later, I'm up doing things around the house, sitting down trying to watch something on TV. Son, I hear these Indians just war cry, and I know a war cry, and I hear African drums going at the same time. I stopped. I said, ah, the ancestors are speaking. And I listened. And that was the first time I listened and I acknowledged and I knew what was going on. When that Kundalini awakening came from the betrayal of knowing that someone that I thought highly of, I really thought highly of, that anyone that ever told me that this person was capable of bringing me any harm, I would have looked at you and laughed. I probably would have cursed you out. You would have thought I had enough of somebody cheating on me. But for me, that was different because back then I was a carnal person in the world, so I didn't see that as a big thing. It was like, hey. Plus, she was young. She was 7 years younger than me, so I always give people the benefit of the doubt. But baby, when it comes to black magic and you trying to offer me up and taking me out, ain't no justification for that. We can't come back from that. But God will show you things in a way that will leave you mystified, and you have no other choice but to give it to him. That's why I tell people I don't put anyone or anything over God. I can love you, and I've loved a lot of women. I've loved a lot of people, period, because I love spirit, not flesh. But nothing comes before him. Nothing comes before him. And I'm thankful and I'm grateful because what they tried to do could have worked. He could have allowed it to work. But they didn't know who I was in spirit, and they didn't know the family that I came from, and they didn't understand that I still got people fighting for me because they was fighting for me because I never fought for myself because I always gave to other people. I've always put other people before me. I've always had the heart of a servant. I've always just gave and gave and gave. And I had to realize now it's time for you to fight for yourself. Everything and all the love that I ever gave to other people, it's time for me to put into me. So I'm not going to say I'm going to stop being the person that I was, but I will put more of an effort into me than I ever did before. No one comes before me outside of spirit. My daughter, spirit and my daughter. Oh, and Brooklyn, my little fur baby. But it taught me a valuable lesson, and what it taught me is to never take your eyes off of people. Pay attention to what they say. Because I was cooking after I was watching a movie one day, and I got my first download, and while I'm cooking, everything she said within the last year just hit. It kept coming, coming, coming. So much that I had to turn the stove off, walk away from it, and sit down to be able to understand. Spirit was showing me, was taking me down the road. Like at the end of the movie Usual Suspects, when Kaiser Soze was walking out of the precinct, and the detective was getting the downloads of everything that he was saying, putting the pieces of the puzzle together. That's what I went through. And I was like, wow. Because sometimes we hear things, but we don't pay attention to it. And that's what I was going through. I was speaking to her and hearing things, but I was not paying attention to exactly what she was saying. Because in reality, she basically was telling me on herself, because she tells on herself all the time. But I didn't pick it up because I never expected that from her. I never would have expected that from her. I mean, there's a person that came back to me. Um, asked me for $1,000 when she was moving. Supposedly it was gonna be six, and I helped her out. Called me one morning crying about some car business. I ain't even got a freaking car, and I gave her three something, one, two, three. But then I realized everything that comes from your mouth about me is either sex or money, sex or money. We left the drugs and the rock and roll out, but sex and money, sex and money. When people show you who they are, believe them. When people show you who they are, believe them and pay attention to what comes out of their mouths. But my perception of her was different because I always saw her as better. I always saw her at where she should be, where she could be. I saw her potential where she didn't see her potential, and she still doesn't see her potential. Because after me, when I told her you went from sugar to boo boo, you're supposed to be with people that's gonna uplift you. You uplift yourself, but I had to realize there's nobody else like me. Anybody that I've ever been with can sit here and tell you I bring life, joy, fun, happiness. I bring a family unit, finances. Even on comp for 20 years, I've contributed to so many freaking households. It's by the grace of God. You show me? You feel me? By the grace of God. It's not me. It's by the grace of God. But I know who I am and what I bring to the table. And she came in thinking that I was a chump because I don't pop off like I used to. I don't have an attitude. I don't curse people out anymore. But she didn't realize I elevated. And I grew up. It was 20 some years ago. Of course, I was a fool back then. I'm not that same person. I'm a mother. I got to teach my daughter how to act. I'm not this young girl that's running around the streets of New York all crazy with a chip on her shoulder because of physical disability. Me and God came to a lot of agreements on a lot of different things. I put everything in the past that I did. The women, the cheating, the drugs, the alcohol, the criminal friends, and anything else that was in a negative situation. I'm not the same person, but she came back the same person. And that's why she thought I was the same person. And she was trying to project her feelings onto me because every time we would talk, we would have good talks. Then she would ghost. Then good talks, then she would ghost. Then she would call just to argue. And I'm a student of psychology. You can't get over on me. Plus, she's never been smarter than me anyway. I taught her. And I said, oh, she's trying to do transference of emotion, transference of energy. She's trying to get me into this place. Baby, I'm not going to take the bait because it don't mean that much to me. I'm good. So when I started seeing through things, I know, oh, we got to end this. We got to end this. Because I'm not going to go backwards and I'm not going to have you or no one else try to sit here and play in my face. And that third, no, that fourth time that she called for some money, oh no, text. And please, grown ass people, if you gonna ask somebody for some money and you grown, pick up that phone with your grown ass and ask for some money. Don't ask nobody for no money or no damn text like you 2 or 5 years old. If you grown enough to ask for it, be grown enough to physically ask for it. Don't text no bullcrap. That was just the straw that broke the camel's back. That was enough for me. Between black magic, the wanting to play in my face. I mean, the black magic alone was enough. And I just had to go to God and pray about it like, Jesus, have your way because you know in the natural, you know what your daughter would really want to do. But I feel so bad for this person because I've never done anything to anyone that deserves something like this. And she must be in a really horrible place, must be in a really horrible place to bite the hands that feed her. The one person, I always try to big her up. I always try to encourage her to do better, to let her know I was proud of her for her achievements. And I'm not gonna lie, I did more for her than her mama did. And I'm not saying that to make myself feel good, but I did because that's who I am and that's what I bring to people. Peace and blessings, family. Don't forget to tell someone that you love them and give that love, that same love back to yourself. Peace and blessings.